newbie tag. Here I am. I have the questions and my answers written down here so that I can not get stuck trying to figure out what I want to say. But I did wait until I had some videos already in place, and let me tell you why. A bit of advice I heard as I listened to BookTube information and suggestions. It said that the first 10 videos you make are total practice. They're just to learn the ropes. And I absolutely agree. I think I have a lot more still to learn, but I've waited until doing at least 10 videos to do this newbie tag because I wanted to make sure that I actually was gonna stick with this. So if you're used to the newbie tag being the first or second video someone puts out, that's not the case here, but it's not my 100th either. We're talking about 10 videos already on my channel. Hop over there if you'd like to. Let's just get into this. Question 1. Why did I start this channel? I started this channel all about community and interaction. Specifically, I was following along with Victober, just watching, and that is Victorian books read in October. I was beginning to enjoy some live sprints where we chat, listen to the people on the YouTube channels chat in the comment section, and then silently read for a while. And then I became involved in a readathon, and that was the book Honest Faith, and I was hit in a special way by that because as a Christian, I love reading things that are gonna deepen my spiritual walk. But knowing that there were other Christian ladies out there who were making these videos on YouTube and who were open to being part of conversation and interaction, that really began to draw me in. There was a YouTube channel that I will put the link to below, a specific video called Excess Detail, and he is in England, and I hope I have that right. And he put out a video expressing that he would like to see BookTube more diverse, allowing room for a conservative outlook. And I really appreciated his stand on that. So here I am. Question 2. What are some fun and unique things I can bring to BookTube? Well, the main thing about me is that although I just said that I'm here as a Christian and a conservative, I truly cannot be put into just a box that you describe. I am also creative and love to read a lot of different things and open to listening to your thoughts even when they're different than mine. Question 3. What am I most excited about for this channel? For me, it all circles back to community and interaction. 4. Why do I love reading? I love reading even from the time of being a child to learn about the time that that person lived in, the setting, as well as walking the path with the characters themselves. I am very much into understanding what their surroundings have done to impact the choices they're making or the situations they're facing. Another one is that books give a sense of adventure when maybe I can't travel as much as I would like to. You can go so many places through books. Number 5, what book got me into reading? Well, as a child, I have a lot of book loves, and I remember from a very early age going to the library, and I remember getting my first library card back when they would mail them to your house. But over the last couple of years, some books that reignited my love for reading were House of Evil, which is a local crime, the true crime idea in a book that told addresses and named neighborhoods that I could drive to if I wanted to. As I read that book, it opened an opportunity for conversation, and I realized that my mom had lived through that actually happening, and she recalled the real events and the real news coverage in in actual time. Another thing that got me back into reading was the author Susanne Jansson. And she is an author who, when I read the first book, I hadn't even finished it yet. And I Googled to see how many more books. I was hoping there were tens or 100. I will link to her website below. She actually only has 2 books. And I thought to myself, what's happening? Surely the next one's coming out very soon. But Susanne Jansson actually passed away from cancer after writing only 2 books, publishing them, and just one of the most impactful and amazing writers. But when I looked her up, that was not something I did a lot. It was not in my character at that time, even a year ago, to research an author, find out what more they had. I just took a book for its, what it was on its surface, a book. I remember that day clearly because it was a Sunday and I was driving or riding in the passenger seat of a car when I thought, I would really like to see what else this author has, and just being taken aback the moment I realized why she only had 2 books out. The next one is a book many of you have probably heard of called The Silent Patient, and one of the reasons that one meant a lot to me was that it was suggested to me by my daughter, who had read it and will always have that association, and I do love a good psychological thriller. By the way, funny story about the Susanne Jansson books was I picked it up to read it thinking I had laid it on our dining table as a library checkout. I was literally halfway through reading it when that same daughter said to me, "Are you reading my library book?" She had actually been the one to check it out from the library, and I got confused, but by then I was hooked. Okay, another series I read later that year was the Cat Who series, and an older lady I know saw me with one of the books, and it's funny because she, within a week or 2, brought me 5 or 6 more to read just to borrow. And I was kind of overwhelmed because when you borrow a book, especially from a friend, you need to make sure you keep track of it and get it back quickly. And I had already put together a lot of books I was planning to read, so I read through those that she gave me and asked her to wait and let me ask her for more when I was ready. But I read about 4 or 5 of those books and truly enjoyed that, just sweet mysteries. All right, that's enough for that. Question 6. What challenges of starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Yes, all of the things. What I listed here is the technology for editing, the cringe of listening to my own voice, watching myself back to edit, finding the right time, place, lighting, and just overall making it a priority to make the videos as well as actually doing the reading. Number 7, when did I start reading? Well, I started reading around age 3 or 4. I have memories of Saturday mornings as a young child, sitting while my mom cleaned around me in our small home and reading everything I could get my hands on. The backs of the records, the Bible storybooks on the bottom shelf of our bookshelf when I was a child, and just so many things that drew me to that love of reading. In fact, as a kid, an older kid than 3 and 4, but I always said that I wanted to own a bookstore. Now, this was before big chain bookstores really existed everywhere, and the idea of bookstores with coffee shops was not a thing yet. This was before the show Friends. And I had the idea as an 8, 9, 10-year-old that I wanted to open a bookstore with a place for people to sit, relax, get something to drink, maybe a little bit to eat. And I just thought I had come up with the most original idea. I was gonna do that when I got older. And by the time I was in high school, those already existed. Number 8. Where do I read? I do have a favorite spot on a sofa in my living room. I also enjoy reading in bed, but I actually really like reading in my car, temperature permitting, and it's just a thing. Number 9, what kind of books do I like? A year ago, I would have said without batting an eye, historical fiction and mysteries, maybe a few thrillers. But I now include, after a year of more intense reading, nonfiction, a lot of middle grade, Christian or clean romance, a bit, and even more thrillers. Last but not least, question 10. What does my book collection look like? Well, I've got a bit of it behind me. There and there. But that's not even half of it, actually. So what's behind me here is mostly books that I keep available for my son to choose from. And I've added a few of my own things onto there lately. All of this are things I have accumulated fairly recently or that I have nearby to make these videos. The bulk of my books are kept in shelving that I have separated by the topic of history and religion, as well as Christian womanhood and parenting in our dining room, and then just fiction and other fun sorts of novels I keep in some bookshelves in my bedroom area. That's all the questions. This BookTube newbie tag is coming to a close. I would totally appreciate if you comment below and tell me what you have similar to me or different than me, and I would love to get to know you a little bit through you telling me about yourself.